Hey there, today we are going to look at the video stabilization effect in Davinci Resolve. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you the original image. You can see when I play through here, it kind of waves up and down. We did this because it was handheld, and I want to smooth it out just a little bit. And I'm going to show you two ways to do this. You can do this in the edit screen, and you can also do it in the color screen. So we'll start with edit. Within edit, you want to go to inspector. And you can see within video, scrolling down, you have one here called stabilization. It's already enabled, but it hasn't actually done anything because we haven't told it to stabilize this effect. Double click on it to expand it. And then this, when you hit stabilize, what it's going to do is it's going to then run whatever stabilization settings you have. So by default, it's going to give you perspective, which is going to stabilize it from motion as well as tilt. So you can change that to translate. So the difference is if you go translate, that's just going to stabilize the X and Y axis. So maybe you've got like some tilting on here and you want to keep that. That's when you would use translate. If you want to basically stabilize everything, that's where you go perspective. And similarity is similar to perspective, truthfully. It's just kind of a little more dynamic, I guess. With crop ratio, what this is telling it is this is going to crop the footage because in order to stabilize it, it needs that extra space. And so what's going to happen is it will kind of zoom in a little bit, and you'll see what I mean when I run it. Smoothing is just how much you want to smooth it, and strength, generally just start at the highest one, but if you only want like a tiny little bit of stabilization, then you can reduce it. So once you've decided what you want with your settings, you can go stabilize. And you notice what it did right at the end there, it zoomed it in. If I don't zoom it in, so you can actually uncheck zoom, and you see what it does is it zooms back out, and I'll zoom in here with my video, and you can see around the edges a little bit, you've kind of got a little bit of black lines. And let's see if we get a little better look at one of them. So notice as it plays, you can see that, and that's that stabilization coming in there. And that's why you would want to have that zoom enabled, because it's going to get rid of that. And you also want to make sure that your video footage gives you enough space. Notice it moves much smoother now that I have the zoom on. And once again, the really only difference between that and translation is your translation is going to just stabilize the X and Y. Make sure that whenever you make a change, you then hit stabilize again, so it'll rerun it with those new stabilization effects. Done. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to do this within color, go to color. And down here, you want to click this one, the tracker. Within tracker, you can see already we've got stabilization select. So you can just run it with its default settings, similar to what we did in the first one. Notice down here is where our drop downs are. So this is where that zoom option is, the camera lock option. And since I didn't say it previously, camera lock, when that's enabled, it will focus on eliminating movement, but it doesn't have the smoothing enabled. So it will kind of help with some of the movement, but not the smoothing. So I usually just always leave that unlocked. And down here, you've got those translation, perspective, and similarity. So all the settings are the same. The only difference is how you get to it. Hope you found that useful. As always, have a good day.